right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, welcome inside our KDKA studios. I'm Rich Walsh, and this is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Brian Batko, the Steelers, will join me in just a couple minutes, and we could talk about the Steelers, but the big topic today is the Pirates, not only the heat that's coming, but also the Pirates, and Paul Skeens not throwing any heat. How about that bullpen? Gives up another 2 runs again today, and the Pirates lose 6-4. You go back 7 series now. They lost the first game. That's not good. I don't even know what to say right now. It's unbelievable, Brian, that Paul Skeens has lost, the Pirates have lost Paul Skeens' last 8 starts. You got to go back to the beginning of May.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens is supposed to be the loss stopper, right? But this guy, they just keep losing. You're not going to be a playoff team, a wild card team, any kind of team that's going to go to the postseason if your ace, your Cy Young winner, doesn't win.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm quite there. I still feel like he'll get it figured out, but with each passing time that this happens, I guess the worry meter goes up a little bit. I think it's just more than anything, I'm disappointed. I mean, who saw this coming in 2026 for Paul Skeens? This was not supposed to be one of the narratives of this Pirates season. However you feel about it, you can't deny the facts and the numbers now, as you laid out. 8 consecutive starts by Skeens that they don't find a way to win, and each time that he goes out there and has a weird but bad inning like he did tonight in the second, just unable to really put hitters away, it's going to make you feel like something's just missing here with him and by extension with this team. I mean, the bullpen, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We know that that's just not going to magically turn around until they, make a move here, and, Montgomery again, the culprit. I guess it's just a surprise that Brandon Bedouin got through an inning tonight. So, I mean, you don't expect magic from this bullpen, but you expect Paul Skeens' magic, and it just hasn't turned around yet.
Well, that's our Penn West University question of the night. Just scan that QR code on the right-hand corner of your screen. Is it time to worry about Paul Skeens? I know we kind of both are concerned, I guess. You know what I'm more concerned about? I know a lot of people are using the World Baseball Classic. I don't believe that plays into this. Maybe it does. I don't think it does because he ramped up a little bit earlier. These guys are in their early 20s. They should be able to do that. He played a long college baseball season a couple years ago, so they go through spring training. I understand it's a little bit different, but what worries me is his velocity coming down. There's something to this. Also, what you brought up, 96 pitches, 5 innings. Not only him, none of these starters are getting to the 7th inning. It's been a long time. If you have a bad bullpen and you're supposed to have this really good starting rotation, these guys got to eat up innings, and they're not doing that.
Yeah, and I just don't know where to put my finger on it, Rich, because you're right. The velocity is down. I mean, we've been talking about that for weeks, if not longer now with Skeens. It's becoming a trend. There's no doubting that. But he's still getting swing and miss. I mean, he's still getting whiffs, so he has good stuff. And, you like the strikeout total at the end of the day, but there's almost a flukiness to it, I guess, when you look at some of these long at-bats that are running his pitch count up. And, yeah, I mean, just not getting that big pitch at the right time to really finish someone off. So I don't know what to make of it. I'm sure he's frustrated. We've talked about it from all angles, it feels like. It's the day games, the early starts that he's not pitching his best, or it's, depending on, home or road split. So it's bizarre, and I still feel like it's in there, and he's going to turn it around eventually, but how long can you keep saying that?
Yeah, 101 mile an hour splinter might get you out of these at bats, but
and turn it around is relative too. Yeah. I almost want to catch myself saying that. It's not like he's having a bad season.
No,
it's not even like he blew up tonight, other than one really rough inning. But you grade on a curve when you talk Paul Skeens, and expectations have to be factored into it.
Yeah, they have to. And when you say that the team has lost 8 straight when he starts, that plays into it. I know a lot of it wasn't his fault. You look back a little bit. The last 3, outside of today, the last 3, he went into the 6th, only gave up 2 runs, and the bullpen essentially blew it, or he didn't get the run support. I think when you look at this stretch, it's somewhere his run support in this losing streak is in the 2s. Prior to that, the first 9 games, I mean, it's in the 7s. So there's a huge difference there.
I guess we should have known from that very first start of the season, opening day, that this was going to be a roller coaster type of year for Skeens, given what happened against the Mets out in New York. So that was a weird omen, and it's been a strange season, and it continues tonight. Everybody has an opinion on Paul Skeens because he is who he is, and lately he's been a lightning rod.
Yeah, and we'll take your opinions tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number if you want to chime in, if you want to air your opinions, if you want to vent. This is the time. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. So the pick is in. This is from the Penguins. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. Welcome to Pittsburgh, Liam Ruck. He was the Penguins' first pick, 22nd overall. He actually has a brother who scored more points than him a couple years ago, won the scoring title. But Liam Ruck, he had 45 goals, 68 games. He's a high IQ player, so right winger. They need some help there, so maybe this is the guy. I don't know if he can play this year up with the big club, but you never know. What happened last year. And his brother's in this year's draft, too. He's still available. They might be able to get him in the second round. They have the 7th pick in the second round, 39th overall, so you might have that twin connection on this team. Yeah,
we got a tweet from someone asking if we think the Penguins will draft Liam Ruck's twin brother, Marcus Ruck. I'd say if this were the Mike Tomlin Steelers, you bet you're behind they'd find a way to do it and get both of those brothers on here. I mean, I certainly don't know much about NHL prospects, and let alone these guys, but I was just reading up on them real quick, and I didn't even know this was a thing, Rich. They're mirror twins, which is they do everything opposite. One of them's lefty, the other one's righty. I didn't even know that was a thing in life, let alone in this draft.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I want to see it now. I want to see both Rucks.
Yeah, I guess if you are, I guess if you're watching that, I don't know. It's interesting. But you know what else is interesting? Both guys played 2 years with Gavin McKenna, so maybe they got something from him. I would like to see it.
Medicine
like you.
hat.
I don't know. I'm not I don't dive into these prospects. I read a couple about who the Penguins might draft, and this guy slipped from potentially being in the top 10, according to some NHL experts, so that's a good thing. But
bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan. Bring the ruckus.
I know. This is good for a lot of T-shirts in the Strip District. Also, Pony just tweeted us a little bit ago, or just tweeted. He's talking about the Pirates' 8-game losing streak when Paul Skeens starts. He's the first reigning Cy Young Award winner to ever endure such a stretch, which is unreal. You have to dive deep into
It's ironic,
that.
too, because the whole discussion and conversation around Skeens and his individual success last year was if only they could get some run support for this guy, if only the lineup and the bats could produce for this guy. And now, I mean, not necessarily in all of these starts from him, but by and large, over the course of this season, the offense has been much improved. And yet, you still have this strange stat lingering, following him around like a dark storm cloud from start to start.
All right, let's go out to John in Cranberry. How you doing, John?
Hey, Richie. Hey, Brian. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Happy Friday night too. So, quick thing. I agree with you on Skeens. The velocity is the concern. He's down about 3 to 4 miles an hour from last year, and I don't know what that is all about, but I agree with you guys. But the reason I'm calling is I want to talk about baseball for a second. So I don't know if you saw yesterday, MLB released a campaign called Leveling the Playing Field, and what it's all about is they are definitely 100% going to push for a salary cap and floor next year. The reasoning behind it is because they want fairness across the board. So I want to get your thoughts on it because the players, I really don't think there's going to be a season next year because I think the players, the union's going to fight it. But my question to you guys is, first of all, do you think Mr. Nutting will keep the team knowing he will have a floor if it happens? And then the other thing is, do you guys think it would be good for Pittsburgh if they do go or salary cut? Because, boys, I'm telling you, it's definitely coming. Thanks for taking my call.
I love the call, John. I've been pushing for this 10 years ago. I wanted a salary cap, and every time I had the chance to interview Bob Nutting, I would ask him about a salary cap and a salary floor. Look, you look at the NFL, you cover the NFL, you cover the Steelers, there's parity. Everyone loves it because everyone has a chance, maybe except for the Browns, but everyone has a chance, right? Just like hockey.
You have a chance if you make shrewd decisions, which the Browns often don't do. But the other 31 teams, sometimes they luck into some good choices, and it helps you.
So getting to his question, the big part of that question, does Nutting sell a team? I think he does. If there is a salary floor, that changes the dynamics of what he makes and what this team makes. But, he could also gamble on them making more if they have a good scouting department and they draft correctly. But here's the thing with a salary cap and a salary floor. It's got to be close. The one that the players proposed was like $100 and $200 million gap. You can't have that. That doesn't work.
Yeah, and obviously the players don't want to put the toothpaste back in the tube, so to speak, when it comes to these exorbitant salaries that the best of the best are making and the trickle-down effect that it has on others. I mean, it's good for players, in my opinion, as far as I can tell, when teams like the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers exist and they're throwing around buku bucks every offseason to keep up with the Joneses. So I understand why the players are dug in, but I don't think this is going to be a situation where they get much sympathy from the average fan, at least not where we sit and host the nightly sports call every night here. So, I mean, when you're a small market club like the Pirates, of course you're going to be a fan who wants this to pass and for the players to lose, essentially. So it is kind of funny, how the tables have turned. There's been so much negativity towards Bob Nutting specifically and owners in general, but if they can get this across the finish line, then people will love it.
It's good for some of the players, in my opinion. It's good for the high-end players. Connor Griffins, Paul Skeens, they're going to be fine. But the way it is now, I don't think it's good for the middle of the road, older veterans. Teams either have to go high-end and then try to fill the gaps with like lesser guys, lesser money guys. So I feel like if you don't have a salary cap or if you don't have a salary floor, then you have a lot of players that are out of work, I feel like.
Yeah, but I think in general, professional athletes are pretty ambitious, and a lot of them think, okay, I can be that guy who's making big money, and I can cash in if I have this great season or if I get better year over year. So I don't know how many of them are looking at it in the long view like that. There's probably a lot who are, hey, get your money if you can. Go ahead, make out like a bandit from whatever team is willing to pay you that. But yeah, I think in any players union, whether it's the MLB PA or the NFL PA, I mean, there does have to be a back and forth and a balance with the kind of rank and file members who the casual fan doesn't know their name.
You'll have to grandfather some of these guys in for sure. They'll have to figure something out. Maybe they do a combination of like the NFL and the NBA, and you do like a two-tier kind of system, right?
It seems like they're far apart. I mean, just from I mean, I guess that's always the case in the early stages of negotiations, but it's not that early anymore. So you hope that they can get it figured out.
Yeah, it's up in December. Let's go out to JD in North Hills. How you doing, JD?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Thanks for calling.
Let me ask you this, though. We talk about blame, however. Is the blame also on Don Kelly and Ben Cherington, do you feel?
Look, I'm going to go back to what I always say. The players, I think, get the most blame, right? I think a manager, general manager, I mean, you're putting the team together, but let's stick with the manager. The manager, I think, is responsible for 10 games a year, wins or losses maybe. The players are responsible for most of the losses and most of the wins, rightfully so. But maybe some of the decisions with the bullpen, with the players that they're using or not using, that falls on to Kelly. But right now, you are missing Connor Griffin. You're missing O'Neal Cruz. Obviously, Skeens, I don't know if something's wrong with Skeens, but he's not the same pitcher he was last year. And your bullpen is a disaster. I think that's why you're 500.
Yeah, I mean, JD, there's certainly times that you can find fault in Don Kelly and in a decision made in a game or even multiple decisions made in a game sometimes, or even some of the fundamentals over the course of the season that have been irritating. There are moves you can find fault with when it comes to Ben Cherington, but he's also the guy that put together this lineup that has been raking for a large portion of the season. So you have to tip your cap to him that way to some extent. And that's why I go back to what I said there in the first segment. I mean, it almost seems unfair to put so much pressure on Paul Skeens, but this is a team this is built around him. This team was built to try to win while he's the best pitcher in baseball. So it's just natural to feel a little crestfallen when he's not getting that done. Yeah, and at some point, you can't get too far out of that wild card race because you want to be a buyer at the deadline. And right now, they're still kind of hanging in there. You can't get too far behind. You got a lot of teams to contend with.
So, all right, we got to take a break. But coming back up next, we got more calls and more Batko talk. Stay right there. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh along with Brian Batko. We're going to get right back out to the phone lines. We got Hudson out in Portersville. How you doing, Hudson?
I'm doing good, Richie. I was wondering, what do the Pirates need to do to win Paul Skeens' next 7 out of the 10 games he starts in?
That's a really good question. We lost Brian there. No one's over at the Fan. But yeah, you know, that's a good question because they got to give him the run support. I don't think he can have gaffes like he did in the second inning here today. He's got to get back to that Cy Young type pitcher. I don't know what quite is wrong with him. He lost a little velocity. He wasn't getting run support at some point. The streak is going to come to an end. He's your stopper. It's got to come to an end at some point. It can't last much longer or the Pirates are doomed.
Score more runs,
Yeah.
Hudson, in Portersville. No, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, this has been a downer of a show because it was a downer of a result tonight on what really had potential to be a fantastic evening at the ballpark. I mean, Skeens on the mound.
Connor Griffin.
For the first game of the second half. Griffin returning, leadoff homer. So I'll throw that out there as a positive note amid all this negativity. I mean, it looks like Griffin is back with a vengeance. So, hey, if he starts getting hot, that's got to help when one of these next Skeens starts. I thought Skeens would have a little more luck after visiting the Shaler Sheets earlier this week. I just sad I didn't get the invite.
Yeah, the big glizzy. 5-0. Skeens, he has his best record against the Reds. Most wins for him against the Reds, any other team. So I thought this was a surefire win for the Pirates. Now, you're back at, you got to win the next 2 to kind of keep ahead of the pace in that wild card. I haven't checked the latest standings, but they were 2.5 games back, so they probably lost a little ground at some point, and that's not a good thing because that's their only route into the postseason. There's no way that they're going to catch the Brewers.
And this is still a big series, so go out there, get it done tomorrow and or Sunday. They hope both, of course. I will not be there. I'll be on vacation, Rich, so if anyone out there sees me in Sandbridge, come say hello.
I'm on vacation, too. I'm headed to Myrtle Beach on Sunday. I'm a day behind you.
All right, and
All right,
you're going
have
a little
fun out
further
there.
south.
It's going to be a hot one. All right, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you make the switch over to KDK News right now.